Blessings, blessings, blessings. This is Will of M, and the M comes later. Today, we're going to be discussing who Kamagowa's real son is. Yes, I know, in chapter 4:14, it's explicitly stated his son, or the one who inherited his Tekken fist, is Ippo, at least it's stated by Nakoda. However, he does bring up a good fact. He says Takamura would have been champion regardless, and he only gave him about 50% of what he needed. Now, I like to give a notion that he gave him 50% on the back end, which means he led him to the boxing stage, led him to the matches he would get, and taught him a few techniques. But his natural raw talent for fighting, he would have been great in anything he did, his athleticism. I think the person that really inherited his fist was none other than Michi. That's right, Yamada Naomichi. And here's why. Yes, Yamada was trained by Ippo, so he's only secondarily trained by Kamagowa. But he came in a loser. He came in a wimp. I would even say this, he was worse than Ippo when Ippo first began. When Ippo first got out there, he had some attributes to him. He was sturdy, he had power in his fist. Even though his first match, he landed nothing against Miyata, he was still able to bruise up his arms just through the block. Yamada does not seem to have any power until he gets about to his pro debut. And he's bad at everything. He can't jump rope. He throws up all the damn time. But he has grit. He has heart. The same heart and grit that Kamagowa showed against Anderson. I think one callback I like to bring to is that there was a point when Kamagowa said, "This is my private fight. Win, lose, or draw, this is my private fight." It reminded me so much of, at this point, his name was Hammer Now, getting up against Ippo and saying, "This is my title fight. This is my world title fight. This is what meant the world to him. This meant the most to him. This is where he learned, if he dedicated himself the right way, he did what he was supposed to do for his 2 years. He didn't waste his 2 years." And that's why I believe this is Kamagowa's son. This was a boxer who came from literally zero, ground zero, no good attributes, weakling, piece of shit. And he built himself up. He would go around different gyms and fight, and it's called a smoker in real life, but you fight people in different gyms, fight pros, and knock them out and beat them so bad, he raised in the ranks. He became a rumor, almost like Earl Spence when he touched down on the scene. No one knew who Earl Spence was. He's an urban legend, but they knew that he gave Mayweather a black eye in sparring. And he showed grit in a way that he came up as a junior welterweight, 135 pounds, about 5'8", and he dropped down to 126 featherweight, about 9 stone for my UK viewers, just to fight his dream match with Ippo. Now, I believe that Ippo may raise in weight. He did tell Mashiba he'd never leave featherweight back at the pro exams all those years ago. But he may raise up to fight Miyata, or Miyata may give him one more fight right here. I would honestly prefer a catchweight, because I want Miyata at his best when he fights Ippo, but you never know. You never know how that's going to go. When he moved to Aomori, and he went to Hachinoe Gym, the same gym that Jason Osmo went to. And I think their specialty is hooks, because this special blow, the solar plexus blow, is pretty much just a hook to the midsection. He trained his ass off. Even when the gym was broken, he wanted to bring money to the gym. He trained his ass off. He worked hard. He continues to go hard. He had a hell of a transformation to a true boxer, the type of boxer that even Kamagowa had to look in so that he respected. He wasn't a weakling. He wasn't a piece of shit. He wasn't just a cannon fodder. He wasn't just a KAWASE INU. So, I believe that if he comes back in the story, even though he's completed his overall mission and goal, if he comes back into the story, he may fight against Iga. I'd love to see him fight against Iga, or maybe even Kimura for a second, just to bring him back. No real stakes there, but just to see it. If he does beat if he does beat Iga, it almost is going to be like a prophecy that Takamura was speaking of. He said it might be too stupid to say out loud. That's if he continues fighting. It wasn't explicitly stated that he retired or not, so it still remains to be seen. But this was the promised boxer that Kamagowa wanted when he broke his fist against Anderson. The boxer who has heart, who has grit. He even said Takamura said the reason that Ippo was getting pushed back by the solar plexus blow was just because of spirit. He was shot in his own head. But if he had the power, if he was trained by Kamagowa and had the solar plexus blow, and had the dog in him, and had the drive, and had the Tekken ability as well, he'd be top of the world. It makes no sense why he couldn't go to world title already. He has all the main qualities of a main character, even more so than Ippo. He's too nice. He's too goofy. He can't always dig into his full power. Takamura explicitly said that was his weakness. We've seen it a few times, but imagine if he could do that all the time. He could always bring out his best. How much further he'd be, how much greater he'd be. Imagine if Hammer now had the Dempsey role with his grit, with his desire to get up. Now, I do have to speak about his weaknesses. He's not very durable. You saw him go down like, I want to say 3 times in the fight. He's not very durable. But it's almost strange, I think, against power punchers, because it seems like he clashes heads, his face is cut up, and he's never had a loss, and he has pretty high KO percentage, about I don't know, 78%, whatever 5 out of 8 is, maybe more, 80%. But he's weak against Ippo's punches, as he went down so many times. But just like Kamagowa, he continued to get up. He continued to honor his friend. Kamagowa fought Anderson because he felt like he never fight Nakota again, because he made him punch drink from a shot to the temple. So to honor his friend, he fought Anderson and beat him for him. And for Hammer now to honor Ippo and Kamagowa, the ones that gave him confidence from being bullied, the king of the wimps, made him believe in himself and become a pro boxer. He had to honor him by fighting him, by dedicating 2 years of his life to become the greatest boxer he could be. And that is why he is the true son of Kamagowa.